escaping the shadows. I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is CeeChronicles and I post Middle Eastern fragrances on this platform. Now if you're new and you like that style of content, please do consider subscribing and joining the family. If you're returning, thank you so much for the continued support. I do have a second channel whose link you're going to find in the description box, where I do the opposite of what I do here, which is post Western fragrance reviews. So if you want to alternate between the two channels, you can go to the description there where you're going to see my photograph. You're going to find a link there that says CeeChronicles Unscripted. That will be the second channel, and I would very much appreciate if you did decide to subscribe on both. Welcome to today's video, guys. We have Maison Alhambra's Grise, right? I have been seeing these series by Maison Alhambra, and I was like, oh, okay, Paris Corner did the same, and so what? But there's a story to this fragrance, right? Anyway, before then, let me just show you the packaging. So it is, of course, inspired by Dior's private line, the fragrance Grise, and the packaging leaves nothing to the imagination, including the bottle itself. Let me just show you a close-up of the bottle. Okay, so that is the bottle. The only difference with the Dior one, if I'm not mistaken, is it's slightly thinner and maybe a little bit longer. Okay, we want to spray it on my arm here for those who like to see the atomizer. And you know, when I spray a fragrance on my arm, especially this generous, I like the fragrance. This is one Maison Alhambra that I'm going to put at top 3 best Maison Alhambras, and this is not a sponsored video. I'm saying this, guys, because this fragrance wowed me. The story that I said I'm going to tell you is, I was in a store, a big store. Okay, if you've seen my vlogs, you see how big some of the stores are. I was minding my own business, trying to buy some stuff there. And there was this woman, you know, not even close to me, but there was this scent that just literally took over the whole space. I had to go to her and ask her. I said, what are you wearing? She said, Grise. And I said, buy. And she said, Dior's private line, you know. And then after that store, I had to go to another store to buy my fragrances. And then I remembered that Maison Alhambra has got a Dior private line thing. And I asked the seller there, I said, do you have one that's cloning, you know, the Grise? And they gave me this one. I was like, oh, okay, fine. Guys, I'm not comparing this with the original, but anyway, to cut to the chase, this is a gorgeous fragrance. Opens up with a rose, a very loud, bold rose that is carrying a powder. So it's going to be a musky, powdery rose. For some of you, it's going to come across as a makeup-y because that rose is together with the powder at the same time. And the weird thing about this fragrance, guys, is with that rose, there's an ochmos. And ochmos is one of the notes that I really do not like in a fragrance, but it works in this one. I don't like ochmos because in most fragrances, it is added there to put like a marine tone, a seaweed tone, like a damp feel, you know, in those aquatic type of fragrances, those water note or water-based type of fragrances. The ochmos in here does not do that. What it simply does is add an earthy tone to that rose, where you can feel that this is, you know, it's got an earthiness to it. And that ochmos could be doing the same thing that the patchouli is doing in this, because there is a patchouli as well. But both notes, both the patchouli and the ochmos, are not enough to bother me, you know, in this fragrance. The weird thing about this combo, guys, is it does not smell like this. This is another clone, Velvet Rouge by Fragrance World. Nothing to do with this, but it's an example of how two almost similar DNAs can have two very different effects on somebody. This is a rose and powdery combo, but in this, it's just way too much. It's too much powder, too much everything. Okay, this is cloning a YSL, not this one, guys, please. It's not cloning the Gris Dior. This one is cloning a YSL Rouge Velaz or something like that. But I just had to show you how two fragrances that kind of vibe the same can be very different. This rose and powdery combo together with an earthy tone works. It's perfection. The rose in itself feels as though it has an underlying fruity tone to it, but they did not list fruits there on the original, you know, Dior website. I did not bother to, I tried to check or look for the ones on the notes on the Maison Alhambra website. I couldn't find the actual notes, but I had to kind of cross check, especially with that ochmos. Yes, it's going to have an earthy tone. It's going to have a dry down that's woody there with the addition of the cedar, but the woodiness is not about the cedar. especially, it is about like a warm, like a cozy, comforting, smooth sandalwood. That is what wraps up this fragrance. And amidst this rose, powdery kick as well as embery kick and a slight sweetness, there's going to be a crispness there. That crispness makes this fragrance have like a perfumey accord to it, but it's not perfumey like in an annoying way. It's a perfumey kind of piercing note that it has there that just screams elegance in a bottle. And the rose is mature, it's grown. By mature, I'm not saying this is an old fragrance in terms of, those who are, say, old will love this fragrance. I'm just simply saying it's a fragrance that, say, I gifted a young person, 10, 12, 15, even an 18-year-old. They may have to adapt to it than gifting this one, say, to a 25-year-old plus. They will automatically possibly, fall in love with this DNA because it's just the notes in themselves are not very complex, but there is something in there that adds an elegance and luxury feel to this fragrance, which is why I said, if I have come before with other Maison Alhambras and said this is the best, I'm going to put a top 3. And that is pending me adding more and seeing how this line goes. This fragrance is 2 weeks in my collection, but I can smell this one actively 5-6 hours, even into 8 hours, but actively 5-6 hours on the skin as well as on the clothing. So this is a fragrance that's probably going to get better with time. So the longevity of this fragrance is one that may last till the next wash. So I am very impressed, guys. And another thing is, when I bring fragrances here and I say it's unisex, this one is outright unisex, genderless. You can literally gift this one to a man or a woman. They wouldn't find it aligning with any gender, if you will. The only con to it is, say for instance, if you were gifting it somebody who has a problem with rosy fragrances, powdery fragrances, makeup-y type of fragrances, powdery, as if, like when I say makeup, I'm talking about an expensive powder, where it has that underlying, Lux scent that they put there, you're gonna get from this. So if the person you're gifting doesn't like that type of tone, they're not gonna like it. But if they like myself and they don't mind that type of tone, they're gonna go crazy with this fragrance. So this automatically shoots to the front row of the Maison Alhambras that I've brought to you. Beautifully done fragrance, gentle sweetness there, an embery wrap up to everything that you get there, a very smooth sandalwood that you get there, a woody tone but not making it about the woods, okay, an earthy feel but not making it about 100% earthiness, right? That patchouli, but the patchouli not off-putting, as well as that moss, and of course the rose that carries through, from start to finish. So you've got to make sure that you love rose for you to love this season. I'm going to put it all year round. It's a DNA that feels safe to wear in any season, because everything about this fragrance, guys, is gorgeous. The reason why I'm putting it at all seasons, including winter, is it's not even yet 100% macerated, but it is performing, giving me like winter performance. So this is one that I probably will get a backup bottle, and one that I will probably try to get my hands on a mini of the real thing, because the good thing about Dior's private line is they do have miniatures. So if I can get a miniature set of this, I'll probably do and try to compare it with the original, because remember I said this review has nothing to do with the original. I only smelled the original from that woman, and I'm assuming it's the original because she said so, okay? But otherwise, just based on my memory then and now, it feels like, very close to the real thing. So if I can get myself a little mini, not a tester, but a little miniature there, I will try and do that, and then bring you on our series of save or splurge, how close this one is, how close in lasting power, and the pros and cons, something like that. And dare I say this, every day is a special occasion. So I'm not one to say wear this for special occasions, but as a mental shortcut, I'm going to say it gives me special occasion vibes, the sort of fragrance that I want to wear, that you would want to wear on your wedding day, the sort of fragrance you want to wear when you're going to lock a deal, a fragrance you want to wear when you're going to have a meeting with important people, a fragrance that you want to wear in your suit and tie, or even your dinner dress, your ball gown, that sort of thing. Also has a crispy tone to it coming from citrus, but not enough to make it a citrusy fragrance. There's going to be a crispy peak there, where some people who do not like rosy, powdery, piercing fragrances are going to say it's piercing, but that's the only con. Starts off sharp, tones down. If you give it time, tones down to become the most beautiful scent bubble around you, and you're gonna get compliments, guys, from the CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we'll obviously discuss more about fragrances. Do let me know if you know or have tried this, or you have it in your collection, and which other one from the line that you would like to recommend to me, please. Not Oud Ispahan or whatever the clone of Oud Ispahan is. I do not like that one. I'm just gonna say it outright. I do not like that one. But anything else that you have tried from this line, this clone line of Maison Alhambra, do throw in a comment section there. I'm going to see if I can check it out. If my stockist has, I'm going to add it to my collection. Please turn on post notifications on both my channels. That way, guys, you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Meanwhile, like and share this one. And remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.